behalf of the Tamils of Sri Lanka and across the globe, I humbly request the UN Human Rights Council's 47 members of state to including the core group on Sri Lanka to bring a strong resolution on 46th Human Rights Council session and save the Tamils. We had sent numerous emails, petitions, over 250, over 500 organizations. We wrote to UK Foreign Office and Lord Ahmed requesting this petition to be heard, and all these minimum referring to ICC or to set up a mechanism similar to Myanmar, IIIM. But we have had no answer. And we had given consistently 3 warnings that I would be starting a hunger strike if we had no response. In a democratic country here, I have been in this country since 1994. I have been a civil servant right from the beginning till 2nd of March 2020. I feel that my government has not heard me. When I say my government, I trusted the British government. British government historically has a duty, because if they had left the country as Tamil's country, we would have had 2 nations. Because they joined for the administrative purposes, we are now facing the genocide. And now I plead to the British government, you have a chance to rectify the mistake that you have made. Please. I have been a human rights activist since 80s, from childhood. I left Sri Lanka when I was a little girl. I'm pleading with you. Let me give my voice. There are 57 countries that are facing genocide, not just my Tamil people. I need my voice for those 57 countries. Please don't let me die. But if one of these 4 demands are met, I'm refusing to take any medications or any treatment or any food. I hope and I sincerely believe Tamils across the world and all the human rights organizations, you and I have worked with you. I gave you all the witness statements. Not from me, ICPPG as organization, we submitted a lot of, I have not been idle. Tamils have not been idle. Tamils have been very, very, very fair. We have been asking for international independent investigation. Please do it. Please grant us. 12 years is a long time. There are genocide still continues. How many in this world knows that every day mothers and sisters are looking for their enforced disappeared loved ones, and while looking, 78 of mothers have died. This is the plight of Sri Lanka now. 1:1 in some places and 1:5 in some places. Between this range, there's army to civilian ratio. How can someone leave? Can you imagine? The international community, can you imagine this? Can you imagine somebody looking at you over your shoulders every single day for last 12 years? Whether it's a birth or birthday or death, there is army. How can Tamils live happily? We don't have our basic rights. We can't eat, we can't sleep, we can't even mourn the death of our loved ones. We have been denied those. Despite all these, despite army forcing you to stop, Tamils across north and east and all the civil societies, they came and they protested, they demanded. It is the same demand the diaspora Tamils kept. As Tamils across the globe from Sri Lanka and diaspora community, we kept the 4 demands. And these are the 4 demands I am demanding too. Pottuvil to Polikandy, it was the same demand. I also quote Eric Solheim, who was the face of the international community. He came on a human rights day and told that international community only believes in Gandhian way. And he also said Tamils have to come unitedly and ask for one, they have to ask one demand, same demand. Here we go. We have protested peacefully from Pottuvil to Polikandy, and enforced mothers have demonstrated, and you have seen the university students, what happened. And Tamils, they did it believing that the international community will not let them down again. They believed that UN Human Rights Council will not fail again. Please evoke your R2P. Don't let my kid and kin die. The genocide is going on. Now I want to read my 4 demands. Upon the core group on Sri Lanka acknowledging there is no prospect of accountability in Sri Lanka by the way of own domestic mechanism or hybrid mechanism. Upon fully endorsing the call for the decisive action at 46th session in UNHRC, released by all majority political parties and civil society organizations representing the north and east of the island of Sri Lanka, dated 15th January 2021, and upon fully supporting all the demands outlined in the Pottuvil to Polikandy P2P protest, include conducted by the North and East civil societies, dated 7th February 2021, I call upon our UK government to amend the draft resolution, the 0 draft resolution, to be presented at the 46th UN High Commission, UN Human Rights Council. My first demand, recommend to the UN Security Council and the UN General Assembly to take up the matter of accountability and consider referring Sri Lanka to International Criminal Court and any other appropriate and effective international accountability mechanism to inquire into crime of genocide, war crimes and crimes against humanity. Second demand, these demands are not in any particular order. Establish an international independent investigative mechanism like the one established for Myanmar, IIMM, or to the one established for Syria, namely the International Impartial and Independent Mechanism, IIIM, mandated to collect evidence of the most serious international crimes and violations of international law and prepare a file of criminal prosecution. What we had in OSL is not criminal prosecution. What we want is a criminal prosecution. A meaningful international independent investigative mechanism should gather evidence from the Tamils affected by the genocide while also making use of the information and evidence contained in OISL report of September 2015 and must have a strict time frame. Mandate the Office of High Commissioner of Human Rights to appoint a special rapporteur, continue to monitor Sri Lanka for the ongoing violations and have an OHCHR field presence in the country. Fourth one, recommend a UN monitored referendum to determine the aspiration of Tamil people in Sri Lanka on the basis that the north and the east of Sri Lanka is the traditional Tamil homeland, and Tamils have the right to self-determination. I declare that the hunger strike for the truth and justice will not be brought to an end at any circumstances unless and until at least one of the demand is fulfilled by the UK government or the 47 members of state. I hope, as I said before, I am a human rights activist. I need my voice to voice against those 57 countries. We said never say never again when we had Rwanda. In this same Parliament Square, I mentioned in 2009 that after 10 years we are going to be discussing the Tamil genocide. Please evoke your R2P, and that fell in deaf ears. I plead with the international community, all the 47 members of state, especially the UK government, who is my government. I trust you. I trust the entire media. Your silence need to be broken. The media and the youth, all the students have the power to stop the genocide. I appeal to the entire Tamil community, entire human rights people, entire human rights activists, particularly to the UN 47 member state, UK High Commissioner, General Secretary, Prime Minister, please let Tamils live. Say my voice by fulfilling these 4 demands. These 4 demands are just minimum what you can do to the Tamils. You can do to stop the ongoing genocide. 12 years is a long time. Since 1948, we have been facing genocide. The war ended in 2009. Why are we still continuing genocide with impunity? Please, let us live. Thank you.